What's up? It's Tony back with another episode of the ItsTony podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'm going to put my socials in here. Follow. I'm going to post clips on TikTok, Instagram, and I'll live tweet on Twitter when most of the current event stuff is happening. So just stay in tune. And like I said, tell a friend to tell a friend. Get in tune. I'm doing this podcast thing, and I'm trying to do it in a different way. It's a different way because I'm telling my perspective. So hopefully you enjoy. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to start with NBA news. So the Clippers no longer have Paul George. And as a Clipper fan, as a Kawhi fan, I don't care if Paul George is there. I don't like Paul George. I think that he does a lot of fancy stuff, but he's trash, bro. He's mad inconsistent. And when you need him most, he will always fail. In my opinion, the Clippers don't need him. They got Kawhi. And I know people going to say, oh, Kawhi stays hurt, da-da-da-da. And yes, he does. I'm going to be unbiased. Yes, he stays hurt. But when my nigga is healthy, he's top 5 player in the league, regardless of who's in the top 5. He plays good defense. I know his knees are bad, and he doesn't play as great as defense when he was playing with the Spurs, but my dog is still nice. And for the haters like Stephen A. that find any reason to talk bad on Kawhi's name, saying he's the worst superstar and that he should retire, all of that stuff, and the Clippers should trade him. I understand why you're saying that, and you have great points. Anybody that is not a fan of Kawhi, I understand. He doesn't do all of the social media stuff. He doesn't talk. He doesn't promote the game. He just goes and treats the NBA like a job. My only thing is that when a player it's always going to be a complaint. You could have a player like Kawhi that stays out of trouble, that does nothing, and rarely is in the news. The only time that he was in the news is when he went from the Spurs to Toronto, and he was beefing with the Spurs because they misdiagnosed him or they weren't believing about how hurt he was. He went to Toronto. He won a chip. He wasn't talking to the media. He wasn't doing none of that stuff. But you guys will bash him for the things he do. But then you could have a celebrity or an athlete like Antonio Brown that's very vocal. Or then you have another very vocal athlete like an Odell Beckham or anybody that likes to be in the spotlight. You could have that type of athlete that promotes the games, that does all of that stuff, and then you hate on them too. So it's no way that the athlete wins. If he shuts up like Marshawn Lynch or Kawhi Leonard, y'all say, oh, they don't want to comply. They don't want to do things that they are getting paid to do. Those are good points. What I'm only saying is, if a person don't want to do that, y'all can't force them to do that. I think Kawhi is a great superstar. He shows up, he does his job, and when he's healthy, he does it to the best. If you pick Kawhi, yeah, everybody says that he's hurt and all that, but if Kawhi went to free agency and you can just capture that 1 year that Toronto did, you would give him as much money as you want. Because you know when he's healthy, he does the best that he could do. My thing is that he went to Toronto, he load managed, because he needs to loan manage, and his knees are bad, and they won a chip, and everybody found an excuse to hate. Then after he went to the Clippers and he expressed that he needs to he didn't express verbally, but they low managed him so he could be good for the playoffs, and people found a way to say that was wrong. Stephen A. said it. All of the media had said it. Now, this year, they put in, oh, you won't be eligible for All-Star and the Supermax and all of those things if you don't play a certain amount of games. Kawhi plays a certain amount of games. He reaches that, and he gets hurt in the playoffs, and y'all still complain. I understand you probably will rebuttal what I'm saying is by saying, regardless if he plays load management or not, he ends up getting hurt. But the likelihood of him getting hurt when he does load management, it decreases because he's not putting as much stress on his body. If a player tells you who they are, believe them. So I don't care that Paul George is gone. I think Kawhi is better than him. I think his career is better than him, even though Kawhi probably he has one of the weirdest careers as a superstar. As a person that is a certified legend, Kawhi has one of the weirdest careers. He has a whole bunch of people that are clearly not better than him that have way more career points. He has 2 Finals MVP, 2 Defensive Player of the Year. He's been a All-Star a bunch of times, but he don't talk, and he does. Like I said, he doesn't have as much career points as other people that he's clearly better than. And when you go into legend conversation, you are not going to say a lot of the people that have more points than him. You would not say that they better than him. I need people to understand and be realistic when they speak about Kawhi. He's different from a lot of players. He's different from Paul George. He's different from Steph Curry, LeBron, AD, just KD. He's different from a lot of these players. A lot of these players came into the league very highly touted because they were closer to their finished products than what Kawhi was. Kawhi came in as a defensive player that rebounded well. He had big hands, so he couldn't shoot as good as the other players. He was strong, so he could finish and stuff. And then he went on a stacked championship team, the Spurs, with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, all of these great players. And he came in and he helped them the best he can. So that's why his career points are different. When he came onto the Spurs, he wasn't forced to score. He was forced to be a defensive player. He eventually started to cook up and get all of those attributes like shooting a 3 better, getting a good mid-range, and becoming a complete player, complete two-way player. Probably one of the best two-way. I'll say it, bro. Y'all could tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all could say whatever y'all want. He's better than Scottie Pippen. Give me another two. All right, he might not be better than Michael Jordan. Not even might not be. He's not better than Michael Jordan. But out of all of the best two-way players, Kawhi is top 5 two-way player ever. Kobe defense was, let's be real. Kobe defense wasn't as good as Kawhi's. A healthy Kawhi does it on both sides. My biggest argument is that I think Kawhi is better than KD. Healthy, full health. He does more for his team to win than KD does. KD can get put on any team, and the only thing he has to do is make his shots. Every shot is going to go in. Every shot has the possibility to go in with a 7-foot demigod, of course. But he's not the greatest on defense. He's not the greatest passer. He's great offensively. And he came in like that. Kawhi is great on defense. He's not the greatest of passers neither, but he got better, and KD got better over time too. But he's not made to do any of that. His offense is good. It's not as good as KD's, but it's really good. His mid-range is really good. And he had to work to get that. He didn't just start like KD. I'm not saying KD didn't start work to get that. I'm just saying KD was like that all since Texas. He's been like that all the time. Kawhi had to develop into that player. And Kawhi is a better one than KD is. When KD is the one, he ain't win nothing. You'll say that he was the one on that Warriors team. And yes, he was the one, but he didn't have to do anything but score 30. And I'm not saying scoring 30 is easy. I'm saying all he had to do was get into his spots. Nobody can guard him. Most players in the NBA can't guard him. He's 7 foot, can shoot. His jumper is perfection. Most players can't guard him. And when you have Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, all of these people on your team that can do everything else, you're going 1-on-1, and most players can't guard you. You're supposed to kill. Kevin Durant does not have one run that resulted into a championship when he was the one, like Kawhi has when he was on Toronto Raptors. And for those that will try to hate, I need you guys to remember, I don't know, it might have been 2016 when Kawhi, the Spurs were going against the Warriors, the stacked Warriors. I think it was the 73-9 Warriors. I might be wrong. Don't crucify me. But that Warriors with Kevin Durant in them. When I tell you Kawhi was cooking until Zaza Pachulia did that bullshit and started all of this, like, that's another thing about, like, context. Kawhi knees are fucked up because a nigga went under. The rule that everybody gets now when they shoot threes and somebody goes under them, that's because of Kawhi. It's the Kawhi rule. Niggas trying to act like he didn't get injured. We seen it when he was killing the Spurs, when he was killing the Warriors. You niggas is crazy. Kawhi is one of them. The Clippers are going to be fine. They're going to pick up other players. My prediction, and I'm holding myself to this. I don't care what happens, unless Kawhi gets traded to, I don't know, another team. The Clippers will be a top 5 team in the West. I stand on it. And the West is hard. The West, they have the Lakers. They have Denver Nuggets. They have Minnesota, Dallas, OKC. They're stacked, bro. We don't know what's going to happen with the Golden State Warriors. We don't know what's going to happen with the Kings. The Clippers going to be top 5 with or without PG. PG is a bum to me. He's very gifted, all of that stuff, but he does a lot to get to that he could, if he could just use his body without all that extra shit, he could be a way better player. Instead of doing all that spinning and dribbling and fumbling with the ball to get to, just use your body and go to take a lay. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody could ever. I think Paul George is one of the most overrated players ever. I don't care what nobody tells me. I stand on that. But the next big free agent thing was the Spurs. They got Chris Paul. To me, I know it's an old Chris Paul. He's not as good as he was when he was on the Clippers or when he was on the Hornets. But Wemby needs a point guard. And with our draft, we got a guard, Stephen Castle. And he'll do development, and Chris Paul will mentor him. Hopefully he can mentor him how he mentored Shea, and he will help the chemistry between Wemby and Castle be good. And that's all I need. And what I need for this year and this for Wemby is him to know what a good point guard is. And I need what the Spurs to do is help him consistently have a good point guard. I was mad when the Spurs traded Rob Dillingham to Minnesota, but we don't need 2 point guards, and I don't think Rob fits the structure of the Spurs as much. So I wouldn't even like him on that team. I think Pop will probably hold him back a little bit because Rob is like a flashy player. I don't think that is for the Spurs, and I don't think that's what Wemby needs. I think the Spurs, they have good young talent: Devin Vassell, Kendall Johnson. Now they got Stephen Castle, and they have Wemby. You have a future Hall of Famer, projected to be Hall of Famer, and give him a good point guard. He's going to be good. I really wanted them to get Trae Young because I feel like Trae Young, he will be able to score and he'll be able to pass. But getting an old veteran, Chris Paul, I'm not terribly mad at that. The Spurs not going to do nothing in the West this year. If they get into the play-in, I'll be surprised. You know, that would be great. But I don't think they're going to be able to do nothing next year. And I think Wemby still needs to put on some weight. But I think the Spurs are going to be fine. The last piece of big news is that Klay Thompson is no longer with the Warriors. He's going to Dallas with Luka. But they said that it's not finalized. But if they said it, I seen the videos of him with the jersey on. I'm going to say that they did it. If I mess up, we'll talk about it in another video. But he's going to the Mavs, and I don't really care about that move. I'm just more sad for the dynasty that fell. Like, I wanted all 3 of them. I wanted Draymond, Steph, and Klay. I wanted them to stay on that team until they were old and wanted to leave. I think that was a dynasty. That's the last dynasty. But all good things have to end. And I think we're going to remember that as a dynasty. We're going to remember them as the ones that gave LeBron hell. And Klay was a part of that. I don't care what nobody say. And he had a off year from what he usually has, like when he's healthy. But I think Klay is still going to be a great shooter, and he's going to help Luka and Kyrie do whatever they can. I don't know if they are a championship team now, but they may get close. I mean, they went to the chip this year. They ain't win, but they were there. Maybe Klay makes them a better team, but it's nothing really crazy. And last thing, I said that the Clippers no longer have Paul George, but Paul George, I didn't finish that. Paul George is with the 76ers. Do I think that the 76ers now are better than Boston? No, because the thing about the 76ers is that Embiid is the path to success, and if he can't stay healthy, I know it sounds hypocritical because I'm saying for Kawhi, but that's the same thing. If Kawhi can't stay healthy, the Clippers can't do nothing. I think if Embiid can't stay healthy, the 76ers can't do nothing. He's a walking 40, 35 points. Nobody can guard him. If he can just stay healthy, he might need to load manage. Y'all need to stop telling players that are fragile that they shouldn't load manage, because back in the day they wasn't load managing. Oh well. If your superstar that you're paying hundreds of $1,000,000 is fragile now, but you know when he's healthy he kills, man, let him sit. Let him sit. You know he's great. He has the MVP. He has the first team All NBA. He has those accolades, bro. If y'all want to chip, load manage him. Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, he'll be able to win those season games. It's about the playoffs with Embiid. If you get him to the playoffs, I think that you kill. The last team I want to talk about is the Knicks, because the three teams that I watch is the Clippers, the Spurs, and the Knicks. I watch the Spurs and the Clippers because Kawhi was on both of those teams. I like the Spurs because I like Greg Pop and I like how he coaches, so I just keep watching them. And now they got Wemby, so I'm going to keep watching them. I like Clippers because Kawhi's on that team. Any team that Kawhi go, I go. Then I watch the Knicks because my uncle, I watch basically every Knicks game with my uncle. So, I'm not a Knicks fan. I will never say I'm a Knicks fan, but I want them to win and be good because, I don't know. If my team not in the playoffs and the Knicks in there, I'm going to root for them to win. If my team is in the playoffs and the Knicks not in the playoffs, I'm going to, make fun of my family. So it's a win-win regardless. If they in or not, it doesn't matter. But they a good team, and it's basically the Villanova Knicks. All I'm going to say is that I strongly believe that Randall should get traded. A lot of Knicks fans want to keep him because he's 20-10, and I understand that, but I think his attitude and the fact that Jalen Brunson is the leader of that team, it changes the whole dynamic. When Randall and Brunson first came to the team, Randall was already there before Brunson. Randall was the leader of that team. He was getting the 20-10, and Brunson, he was cooking, but it wasn't his team yet. Once Randall left and Brunson is scoring 30, how do you bring Randall back on that team when he demands the ball so much, and everybody on the team is looking like, we didn't need you. You don't need to demand the ball so much. Calm down. Brunson is going to get us to the finish line. The chemistry is going to be messed up. That's my theory. Then on top of that, you get 4 college friends on FaceTime with each other, cool with each other. It's going to be mad clicky in the locker room. They're going to be over there, ha-ha, kikiing, and then you're going to have Randall throwing temper tantrums because he used to be the man on that team, but now Brunson is the king. What are you going to do, Thibodeau? And then when Randall throw a fit and don't want to run back up on the court, like after he misses or after a rebound, he don't want to run because he don't got the ball and Brunson got the ball. What are you going to do? You going to bench him? Then he going to be disgruntled. Why not just trade him now and get a better center? Try to go get Laurie Marketing. I doubt Laurie Marketing want to stay in Utah. I know he's the guy over there, but nigga, Mitchell Robinson is a bum, and I always said it. I don't know why they let him stay and traded Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein can make floaters. He plays defense. He's a better passer than Mitchell Robinson, and Mitchell Robinson can't jump, and he's doofy. Randall always got an attitude. He's 20-10, definitely, but he always have an attitude. He barely plays defense, and if he doesn't have the ball in his hand, he's going to be mad at everybody on the team. And everybody on the team going to look at this guy like, we don't need you. We got to the playoffs, and we did good. Besides us, our bodies breaking down, we did good without you. We did not need you. How do you keep him on that team? How do you not? I just think it's going to be a lot of tension. I don't know. I'm a person that watches the Knicks out of being forced to, so maybe I can't. Maybe I'm not eligible to speak on the Knicks. I'm a Kawhi fan. I'm a Clipper and Spurs fan. A team that I am I lived in Texas, but two teams that I've never lived there or grew up there for a long period of time. I grew up in New York and I'm not a New York fan. I guess I'm not able to talk about that, but I don't think that they should keep Randall. I don't know. What do you guys think? The next thing I'm going to speak about is the BET Awards, but I don't want to speak about all the awards that were given out, I'm just speaking about the stuff that was interesting to me. So the first thing that was interesting to me was the Kamala Harris Taraji FaceTime. I don't know about you guys, and I know that everybody is saying they don't want Trump in, and I'm not a fan of neither person. I know they don't want Trump in, and they were pushing throughout the whole broadcast of the BET Awards that, yo, we're on the Democrat side and we're with Kamala and stuff. I don't know if I like that they're using Kamala one and they're using the BET Awards to push us voting for Biden. I just don't know if I don't know if I think that's cool. I don't know if I'm cool with politics trying to use hip hop and certain cultural things to get people to vote for them. I don't feel like it's genuine. I feel like it's disingenuous. I think it's just using people and not actually helping them later. And I feel like that's why a lot of people that don't get into politics, they go with Donald Trump, because at least Donald Trump is going to say whatever he want to say, and he's not going to try to act like he's messing with us, or he's not going to try to act like he's going to do something crazy for black people. Whereas the Democrats, they're going to pander to us and do all of that stuff and say stuff like Kamala Harris said, oh, they not like us. Like it's scripted. Like, I don't feel like stuff is coming from the heart. I feel like Taraji P. Henson rant was more from the heart than what Kamala and Henson was doing. I feel like that was whack to me. I don't like when, like, I could tell that you marketing, bro. I guess as consumers we became too smart. Like, we see when people are like trying to force something on us, but I don't like that. Do it in another way. Tell us a policy that you guys are trying to do that will help us, rather than trying to be like, oh, a bunch of black people are going to watch the BET Awards, so let's put Kamala Harris on a FaceTime with Taraji, and let's get her to say they not like us, say something culturally aware, something that's current in news, and get people that weren't going to vote for them just because, oh, they said not like us. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, I don't be feeling like people in politics be really trying to make a difference, bro. I feel like they just be trying to get, like, to make the voters look dumb and just be like, oh, these guys are dumb. We could just say something that they would want to hear and they'll vote for us. I don't know. I don't want to get too political, but I just don't like the marketing. Like, it doesn't, the disingenuous marketing. If you want us to vote for y'all and you want people to not vote for Trump, just say that we don't want Trump in. We think he's ignorant. I'd rather that than you try to use clever little things that are going on in hip hop to get people to vote for y'all. Another person that used disingenuous marketing, in my opinion, is Will Smith. That song is whack.
But whatever's going on in your life, I'm here to tell you, you can make it. Heal, but the battles of healing. If God is for real, you just wonder if he'll listen. So many tests for the flesh, exhausted, gasping to catch your breath. Walking through the valley of the shadow of death. When you think you got nothing left, keep going. Don't give up.
Y'all not gonna say it, I'll say it. That song, that whack. And it's cheesy, and it's corny, and it's goofy. You slap somebody, okay, we don't need you to make you can overcome anything rap. Like, come on, bro. And I know Will Smith was rapping back in the days. He was actually making way better songs than what he performed. But let's stop, bro. Let's not get him to put on cool-looking clothes and rap to get the black community back on his side. Most of the people, like, were over the slap. It happened. We don't need you to try to force yourself on us because people feel like people made a big thing out of the slap, and it was a big thing. He have no right to hit that man, but don't try to come back like and re-promote yourself with, oh, You can do anything. Don't ever give up. Like, it wasn't even good bars, bro. We don't need no I know I can from Will Smith. Like, bro, people watch your movie regardless. They don't care about the slap no more. They don't. This is current events, bro. If it's 2 months old, people don't care. Why do you think every podcaster talks about current events, including me? People don't care about nothing but current events or drama on Shade Room, and that's current events, or sports, music, or people don't care about nothing but current events. So Will Smith, you don't have to go on BET Awards and act like like that song don't even sound genuine, bro. Can we just stop with the like? I'd rather you just stand in. Oh, I was gonna slap that nigga and he deserved it. I did it wrong. I shouldn't did it in public, but I wanted to slap that nigga. I'd rather you do that. I'd rather you stand in that than try to do the fake apologies and stuff like that. People still went and watched your movie, bro. You don't have to keep on trying to market and sell this nice guy, bro. If you're a nice guy, just be a nice guy. You don't have to force it. It's kind of like when Jonathan Major, after all that stuff in his case, we see a video of him separating two people fighting. Like, bro, stop, bro. We see you. You don't think we see you, bro? We see the marketing that you're trying to do. We see the rebrand that you're trying to do. Don't give us no rebrand. A lot of people don't care, bro. A lot of that stuff is not really for us. Like the Will Smith thing is not really for us. It's for the people above that be like, oh, we want to see him get the black community back on his side and stuff like that. Please stop. He had Bad Boys, the latest one, come out, and people went in to support him. Why does he need to come back to the BET Awards where people rarely come? He's like, come on, bro. None of the big superstars go to the BET Awards, but Will Smith was there rapping a I Know I Can Be What I Want to Be rap. Stop it, bro. Stop the fake marketing. Stop the disingenuous marketing. Stop the, oh, I'm about to rebrand and I'm this nice guy, bro. You made one mistake. Just keep it as that. We don't need you to rap. Who needed a Will Smith rap? Who? Please tell me if y'all needed a Will Smith rap, because I didn't. Out to do, I didn't need none of that. But to each his own. If y'all liked it, I loved it. I guess so. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the Usher tribute. And there was a whole bunch of people performing, so I had to write it down. And a lot of them was no's for me, and it's not because they were women. I know it was a thing on Twitter saying, "Oh, most of the performers on BET was women, and they didn't like that." I don't care about that. I like when women perform. They do more of the choreography than men. They actually perform, and in my humble opinion, is no pander. I like when black women are the focal points of things. I'm sorry. I like that. Especially slept on black women. So I like that. Like, for instance, one of the biggest stars, and she did a tribute, and she was a yes for me, was Victoria Monet. She was a great writer, and I knew her for writing for Ariana Grande. And I heard the early Jaguar, before this one that's highly touted, fire. And she's a great performer. And she performed with Tiana Taylor, another slept-on artist that does videography, does choreography, helps other artists with their stage presence and being performers. And she could sing, dance, like another slept-on black woman. I like all of that. Put shine the light on them. All I know is that when you shine the light on black women, they put other black women on, and they put other slept-on black men on. That's my take. So I'm not mad at that. But Keke Palmer was a no for me during the Usher tribute. Childish Gambino. Yes, Childish Gambino is funny and he makes good music, but I don't need him singing Usher. I'm sorry. Then Summer Walker. Summer Walker was a yes for me. You know why? Because I'm a Summer Walker stan. I've been a Summer Walker stan since the last days of summer, and she's tough, and I don't care. I don't care about the stuff she do on Instagram. She's goofy or whatever, but the music, I want her to get back with London on the track, and I don't care if they get together or make another baby, none of that stuff. Just get back together because y'all made good music together. Her performance for Usher was very surprising because I remember when she first came out and she was very Antisocial did not want to perform, only stood in one spot and didn't dance, nothing. But you know a person that helped Summer Walker with getting comfortable and stuff? Tiana Taylor. Somebody that don't get talked about a lot. And I know Tiana Taylor got a lot of drama with the Iman Shumpert thing, and I think I'm gonna talk about that one day, but we'll get back to that another time. With the Usher tribute, Summer Walker was very surprising to me. The Keke Palmer and Childish Gambino was a no. Then Coco, she looked very nice, and it was okay. I'm not hating on Coco Jones' performance for Usher. It was good. Then there was Marsha Ambrosia, and it was okay. It wasn't nothing crazy. I don't think how she sings was good for like a Usher song, but I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't mad about it. I didn't have no outrage about it. It was just okay. Next, then there was Chloe Bailey, and I don't know. I'm not the biggest Chloe Bailey fan, but I want all black women to succeed, so it was okay. It was nothing crazy. I don't have no bad things to say about it, but it wasn't outstanding. Like, I feel like when you're doing a tribute, I feel like you should try to be outstanding. And nobody except for maybe, not even maybe, the only people that were outstanding in that tribute, and it wasn't even Summer Walker, she wasn't outstanding. The only people that were outstanding was Victoria Monet and Tiana Taylor. They did very, very good. They're dancing, they're performing, how they flowed off of each other with the singing. It was fire. They were the only ones. The last person that they had was Tinashe, and it was just no. It was just no. I didn't. And the crazy thing is that Tinashe makes good music. Like, I know a lot of people only know the most popping songs, and she makes a lot of like very pop songs that really ring off. But she got some good songs. Like she might have a slept on discography. Like, she has songs that people don't know about, or that she might not promote as much, but she has songs that go off. Like Sleepers, Heavy. But that Usher was no. And she wasn't the last person. The last person was Lotto. I don't believe she was the last person, but the last person I forgot to speak about was Lotto. And I was not mad at Lotto's performance as well. Lotto performed actually twice. The tribute, and she performed by herself. She did not do bad with the tribute, and she didn't do bad with the performance by herself. I'm not a huge Lotto fan either, but she didn't do bad neither. I like the vibe that she had. I like Sunday Service is cool, and I know Sunday Service is directed to Ice Spice, who also performed. And my question is, they both beefing with each other. It's not man's business, and I'm just gonna ask one question: if they both were shading each other in songs, I seen a clip of Lotto saying, because Ice Spice got the song "You Think You the Shit," I'm the fart, da 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 da, and I seen Lotto say something like, "I'm the stinkiest fart," or something like that. It made it seem like it was like kind-hearted, like it's not really crazy beef. But if they doing diss tracks to each other, or if they doing diss tracks to each other and it's crazy beef, why I don't know. I don't want them to attack each other or nothing like that, but I'm just saying they were right there. If it was that big, they would have did something. So clearly it's not that big. And if it's not that big, I wouldn't be mad at a Lotto Ice Spice song. I wouldn't be mad. I think it would be a big song. And I don't think that female rappers have to beef as much anymore. It's so many of them. And the clear one is Nicki. She's going to continue to win the female rap, hip hop rap artist of the year all the time, because her numbers are better than all of you guys. Why don't you all just get back together? I know you guys are going to shade each other, da 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 da, but I don't understand why not just get back together. I don't think none of y'all beef is that crazy. Not to invalidate the beefs that you guys have, but I'm just saying I don't think none of it's that crazy, because a lot of you guys be in the same rooms, and the only people I seen that went crazy with each other was Nicki and Cardi, and I understand if they don't want to come back, but I think female hip hop and females in music and women in music, y'all are carrying a lot of what's going on. Like, if you turn on the radio, it's a lot of women making great music. Not to say that the men aren't, but there's a lot of women being pushed to the forefront. I think it's way better when y'all a unit instead of dividing between each other. But that's not my business because the men do it as well. But I'm talking about the women. I like to see all the women come up together. So I'm not trying to discredit the women and say, oh, y'all have to be friends. No, I just said I feel like it would be a good as a unified front. That's all I'm gonna say. The last topic I want to talk about was something that I seen. Like, I watched an interview of Joe Budden with Bag Fruit with Esso and Heineken, and I don't know, like, they were dropping a lot of jewels, but the first thing that I noticed is that podcasting and podcasters are a little weird. Like, they're a little, and it's full of drama, but a lot of the podcast men, like, no, a lot of the podcast leaders are men, and it's still a lot of drama in it. So it can't be like, oh, it's women catty stuff when the men are just as dramatic and have like these beef with each other. So Joe Budden is doing an interview with Esso and Heineken. Esso and Heineken used to be on Mav Hoffa's My Expert Opinion. My only question is, Esso and Heineken left Mav Hoffa's show and they didn't leave on good terms. Joe has two people, Rory and Maul, that left from his show and they didn't leave on good terms. I don't know if Joe would be happy to see Mav going on Rory and Maul's show. I'm not saying he would say don't do it. I don't know nothing, but I'm just saying it's a little weird because what if Mav have a problem with that and he want to be dramatic and go do Rory and Maul's show? It would just be, I don't get the reason. I think it was a great interview. I'm not trying to say all that to say it wasn't a great interview and they didn't have good conversation. I'm just saying you can see why drama happens. You can see why things happen because one person feel like, oh, you heard these people talk bad about me and you went and hang out with them. And that's principles that people have in real life. It's podcast wars. Joe is known for saying that all the time. Joe celebrates when niggas break up, so he know that it's a real thing. He's had a breakup. He knows it's a real thing. I don't know if that adds to the fire of podcast wars. If Matt feel like, oh, you going over there with them, you helping them get bigger. Even though Joe didn't talk nothing about Mav, I'm just saying, you know, like, people be petty, and we gotta stop acting like people aren't petty. People see you hanging out with somebody that might have talked bad about me, they're gonna be mad. Everybody's not gonna be mature, and let's not try to act like people are mature. The jewels that I got from that interview, though, besides the drama and stuff like that, that wasn't no jewels. It was just something I wanted to ask. Like, do you think that Mav will be wrong if he went to the Rory and Maul podcast? Do you think that Mav has a right to be mad at Joe? Do you think that Joe would have a right to be mad at Mav if he went on a Rory and Maul podcast? It's just a question. It's nothing crazy. But the jewels that I got from the podcast that they had together with Joe, Esso, and Heineken, one is that they spoke about what would you do if you were starting your podcast over? Like, how would you grow your podcast? How would you grow your community? And that's the thing that I've been questioning and trying to brainstorm about is how would I grow this community? And he talked about promoting and DMing people and DMing like up and coming podcasters, DMing people that are well known in the podcast industry, DMing the baddies on Instagram, OnlyFans girls, all of that stuff, and like getting them to promo you. And I think that was fire. I knew the information he was saying about like grassroots. You just be everywhere. You pop up and do that. And he was like, but a lot of people don't want to do that nowadays. A lot of people don't want to do that nowadays because all you have to do is press a button and record and da-da-da-da. And I think when he said that, it only made me think about, like, would I want to be in mad people DMs asking them to do me a favor and stuff like that? Especially with how social media is. Like, oh, you be in a DM and you eventually blow up and they forget about you. And they try to make it seem like, oh, I remember when this little nigga was DMing me to promo his stuff. Like, I don't know. It's a feeling of, like, pride and being humble and stuff like that. People want you to be humble, but sometimes I feel like having pride will stop you from looking goofy. And I don't know if people gonna think this is an immature thing to say, but I think that pride is bad. Like, too much pride is bad, but having no pride makes you look crazy in the long run. So it's about a balance. And I always been bad with balance. I'm no cap. I always been bad with balance. I always was either I'm doing this or I'm doing that. And it's a part of growth. Of course, you got to find that gray area. But that conversation about grassrooting and stuff like that, that's something that I want to do. And I want to promote my podcast to make it bigger. I feel like I'm going to grow into being a really good podcaster. I could just see it. I'm doing it by myself and not doing it with a major camera or nothing like that. And I'm going to continue to grow and stuff like that. But I don't know if I'm good. I don't think I'm cut out to DM mad people. Like, bro, can you promote this? Da, da, da. I'd rather it just organically happen, or I just promote it myself. Like, I find a promotion company or something like that and I figure it out. I'm just telling y'all what was my thought process when I heard about what he would do. And then I wanted to speak about more so about the podcast and stuff like that, is why I'm really eager to do the podcast. Because I seen a video recently about like an eagle, and this might sound like crazy, like I'm trying to be deep or whatever, but I seen it something about an eagle, about at a certain point the eagle's claws, they get dull, the nose, it get dull, and the feathers get too heavy for them to fly. So it's either die or make changes. The changes that they have to make are like breaking a beak and then picking out their feathers, the heavy weighing feathers, or taking out their claws, and it's a painful process. And that just made me think that, yo, this is gonna be a painful process of letting go old bad habits. You either are gonna do that or you're gonna die. And in this reality of this time that I'm living in, the alternative is not die. The alternative is just be stagnant in life. And I'm trying to say, like, I'm 23. I know I say I'm a young nigga from Brooklyn with an opinion, but I'm not trying to be a 40-year-old nigga from Brooklyn with an opinion with nothing to show for it. So I'm willing to do what it gotta do. Like, I'm willing to be consistent. That's probably the bad habit that I have, is not being consistent with this. And I don't care if I gotta talk about current events, talk about my life. I'm willing to do whatever to reach my goal. My goal right now is just to get 100 subscribers on YouTube. And that's where, when they was talking about the promo and stuff, it made me more so think about building a community. And I want to find a way to build a community. I like when niggas comment. I don't care if they not saying that what I'm saying is whack. I don't care if they like what I'm saying. I like when people comment. I like when people like. I would like when people share and subscribe and all of those things. But I'm just trying to find a way to build a good community, a solid cult-like following, and I just feed y'all content. Because if I see that my community is there, even if I don't see it fast, if I see that my community is growing, I'm feeding content. I always could talk. I could talk about anything, and I don't only have to talk about sports, rap, and relationship. I haven't even talked about relationship stuff yet, so I could talk about anything. Anything y'all would like me to talk about, put it down below. I'll talk about anything. You can ask a question, anything. Like I said, I'm nobody special. I'm 23 years old from Brooklyn with opinions. That's all I am. It's Tony, and thank you for watching, and keep watching. Watch the journey, and I promise you, I'm gonna get better at this podcasting thing. I have topics always in my head, and I'm ready to feed the fans. I'm ready to feed my subscribers, and I hope you guys stay here for a long time. See y'all in the next episode.